Hi, this is Will Phototech with a rumor directly to you. Uh, this news story came out a few days back. I'm usually very early to this stuff, but it just happened to be early. This story came out early in the morning, and I was at my day job. So it's kind of morally defeating when you come home, hear about something, and see IGN has already posted a video about it. When IGN pretty much posts a video about something, you kind of know that the story has been ran around the corners multiple times, and the story is kind of old. So, but anyways, it's a good one. But this rumor comes from a lady by the name of Emily Rogers. She has a very good history of bringing up things that are going to happen and having a good chunk of it actually happen. But this is all around The Legend of Zelda coming to the Nintendo NX, the next Legend of Zelda coming to the next Nintendo system, Nintendo NX. And this is actually old information. I did a video way back talking about Legend of Zelda coming to the Nintendo NX. And I've already covered that really deep. I spent a good chunk of time on that and explaining everything. So I'm going to just jump past that part and go to the second part and the third part of the rumor, which is that Link will have a male version and a female version. And the third thing is that the game will have voice acting all the way through except for Link. Now, on the second point, Link being having the option for a male or a female character. Now, I have absolutely no problem with Link being a male or female. No problem at all. This goes back to the basic notion that Link is your avatar into the world of Legend of Zelda. And the fact that it could be a male or female, pretty awesome. In fact, Link is pretty much a sexually androgynous character. It's not clearly male. He's not Link is not clearly male or clearly female. It's just one of those characters that's set just right there in the little crevice between man and woman that you could pretty much just look at it either way. The only thing is it explicitly states that certain links are male, which are most of them all the way up to now. The only issue that could be pulled on between the male version Link and the female version Link is that the story cannot integrate Link as much as the past few Legend of Zelda games. And that is the only real issue. It's just something Nintendo is going to have to work through if they really choose to go through making the option of a male Link or a female Link. I'm just pointing to the corners, it's just weird things. But that's it. And then the third thing is voice acting. Uh, Voice acting can be terrible, it can be good. Personally, I don't mind having to read all the dialogue. It's a good practice. More people need to read. I keep noticing people getting really, 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 really bad at reading. And at moments, I have to wonder, could it just simply be because that so many video games have voiceovers in them, and people just don't have to actually read as much as they used to. And for me, I took a long time to actually learn how to read myself. I have my own problems, but what got me into reading It took me until like the 7th grade until I could actually read very well. All the way up to 6th grade, I was basically reading at just subpar 2nd grade level. And the thing that got me into reading was video games. I was playing games. I wanted to know what was going on. There were games that were like Pokemon, where you really. Pokemon and Animal Crossing and Nintendo Power that were the reasons why I learned how to read. And the prevalence of voice voiceovers in video games is removing the necessity to learn how to read. And I have noticed that more and more younger people are abysmal at writing and are getting worse at reading. And I cannot throw rocks at people who are bad at writing. I have a very mild case of dyslexia. I have a really hard time spelling words that are greater than 4 or 5 letters. But I fucking try. I try and I try and I try and I try. I keep tapping. I rearrange. Most people don't realize when I write 2 or 3 paragraphs, sometimes I have to rewrite my entire sentence because I can't get the correct spelling for a 7 letter word. So it takes me a lot of work to get the wording right. So every so often, for me, it's really bad. I'm working on my spelling, and I'm a really good reader now. I'm college level. Thank you very much, Nintendo Power. It is so sad that you are no longer with us. But Nintendo Power helped me improve my reading. And for a long point in my life after high school, I really did not have to. I forgot a light. I have a lighting rig here. I started the video and I forgot to turn on my fucking daylight bulbs. But anyways, the lighting is a little bit better now. It's a little off now. Adjust the camera so it's more square. But I learned how to read because of video games. I'm learning how to write better because of my YouTube channel, which is funny because I'm talking to you. But the prevalence of voice acting in games, I feel, is removing the necessity to learn how to spell, and the prevalence of YouTube and other platforms with videos and stuff like that is also removing the necessity of people to learn how to read. And I've talked with people, and I can say this for myself, I'm not that very good at spelling, and I'm not good at grammar, but I'm really trying. And when someone corrects me, I have no problem with it because I'm working at it. I am literally seeing people who are worse than me at spelling and are horrible at reading something and comprehending a concept. I have that little glare right now. It's the gap between my mustache, in my mustache. But it is really aggravating when I get into a conversation with a person and I spend the time to write out 3 paragraphs explaining something. First, to explain what they perceive, and then second, to expand upon it, and third, to tie everything back in. And I get people who read the first 2 sentences of the first paragraph, and base their entire reply on the first two sentences of a paragraph when in the second paragraph I explain why the first paragraph, the concept in the first paragraph is incorrect. And it's just, oh my. There's so much wrong. And I've seen people comment on videos too where put the idea down in the video and then they comment below asking a question where midways into a 5 or 6 minute video the answer is already given. So common problems, people are getting really bad at reading comprehension, people are getting worse at spelling, and people are getting really impatient and really impatient. So I'm sorry I rambled off onto a side jaunt, but there. Now the second thing, the second news story is about a recent news article by Forbes that basically popped up, I saw just very recently, talking about the probability of the Nintendo NX being a 4K console. And the reasoning behind it is essentially, oh gee, everyone else is going to 4K. It's the new standard. It's becoming the new standard. Nintendo's going to do it because of that. I hate to tell you, Forbes, but Nintendo marches to its own drummer. And second of all, Nintendo doesn't necessarily have to do 4K. Now, the issue with 4K is that it uses up a lot of memory on disk or in cartridge. There's a possibility that Nintendo X might be a return to cartridge systems. And cartridge technology is actually to the point where it could annihilate Blu-ray in capacity. Now, cost, that is an issue. But cartridge is actually to the point where flash memory and cartridge technology in general is actually to the point where it could do literally everything that Blu-ray can in spades, with one exception: cost. It's going to cost $15 to manufacture, $25 to manufacture, $30 to manufacture, but it will do it better. Blu-rays, a dual layer Blu-ray is around 50 gigabytes. Potentially, cartridges are capable of storing terabytes. Physical cartridge, SD cards, there's manufactured that flash memory up to 256 gigabytes, and there's 512 gigabyte flash cards. And I think I've even seen 1 terabyte flash cards, but they're $100 plus. Nintendo could make cartridges that could store 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times the capacity of a Blu-ray easy. The data access rate on a cartridge will outstrip a Blu-ray effortlessly. The capacity on the cartridge can outstrip a Blu-ray in an incredible degree. There's also the potentiality that the cartridge can also function as an upgrade to the system. Nintendo can actually put in an extra graphics card or sound processor to improve the capacity of the system. Now, back to the Blu-ray part, back to the 4K part. In the case of 4K Blu-rays, the movie pretty much takes up the entire disc for the most part. There's no extra features added in. And what else? That the average human is incapable of perceiving the difference between 2K and 4K quality images. People have a difficult enough time telling the difference between a 720p image and a 1080p image, unless they're told that it is such. So there's been a lot of studies that have found that they could take a 1080p TV, about a 20 or 30 inch, stick it in a room, have a person watch it, and then have another TV the exact same size as a 1080p in one room and a 2K in another room, and have the person go to the other room, watch on that 2K, and they will not tell what the difference between they cannot see the difference between the 2K and the 1080p TV. Same thing with the 4K. The vast majority of people cannot see the difference between 720 and 1080p, and even fewer people can see the difference between a 1080p and a 2K, and even fewer number of people can see the quality difference between a 2K and a 4K. Now, the only real value to a 4K TV is if you make it really big. Now, if to be simple and blunt to this, if your TV is small or the screen you are watching on is small, say like your smartphone, anything above 720 is a waste of bandwidth and processing, and it's just why? Because you could take a 720 a smartphone with a 720 display, put it next to a 1080p display, and you will not be able to tell the difference because I had to pause the video because I got interrupted. I am so sorry, but my point was, if I remember correctly, was that a small screen 4K is absolute waste, 2K is a waste, 1080p on a small screen like a cell phone is a waste. You don't really need anything more than 480, 720 on a small phone. As your screen gets bigger, it becomes more relevant. Now, many studies indicate that a 4K screen is actually good if your TV screen is at least 60 plus inches. So I got a question for you. Is your 4K TV greater than 60 inches? Because odds are the quality of the image is so very close to a 2K screen if it's smaller than 60 inches. And for the most part, the vast majority of people cannot tell the difference between 1080p and 720p and 1080p when their screen is in the 30-inch range. So there, and they also found that the quality difference between 1080p and 2K and 4K is largely invisible to most people when your screen is in the 40-inch range. So there. So Nintendo is always been about value conscious just design, and the odds of Nintendo making their next console 4K is this likely. Now 2K is better. Nintendo will most definitely have 1080p capacity. The Nintendo Wii U is 1080 capable. In fact, many games on the Nintendo Wii U first party, like almost all of them, are run at 1080p 60 frames per second. Nintendo's art style is very much conducive to easily allow for 1080p, 2K, 4K, 60, 90, 120p FPS frames per second than the art styles that Sony and Microsoft push to the forefront. So, can Nintendo do 4K before everyone else? Yes. Are they going to do it? Not likely at all. So, Forbes, thank you for writing a really long article that doesn't really, that it completely ignores the reality of Nintendo. Now, I will make another video and I will be talking about the Nintendo philosophy shift very soon, unless something major happens. And something is always, there's not a day that really goes by that a new Nintendo NX rumor pops up and does its little dance. So thank you very much for watching this video. Please say hi to the subscribe button. Check out how the like and dislike buttons work. If you dislike this video, please absolutely tell me why you dislike this video. Second, more like third, or yeah, third, please leave a comment below, and please share this video with various people. Sorry this turned into a rambly affair, and that little tap 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 you hear is actually a dog named Sassy. And yeah, she just looked at me. She's just staring out the window right now. Oh, there's people out there! I just did a Sassy impression. Sassy! 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 Ah! Happy Wiggle Puppy! Happy Wiggle Puppy! I just looked down, my cat Pierce is just But anyways, thank you very much for checking out my video, and have a wonderful day.